I scattered 100 people across 5 tropical islands. 20 players were put on each of the 5 starting islands. 1 island is a tropical paradise, 1 is an active volcano, 1 is a jungle infested with venomous snakes, 1 is a rocky wasteland, and 1 is an abandoned port city. Now, it may be unfair that some starting islands are better than others, but that's life. And just like real life, if you die, you remain dead forever.
Run! It's an eruption!
Survival will be difficult, with mob spawns at 20 times the normal difficulty. And with limited food options on the islands, players will work together for survival, or they will die quickly. On day 7, I'll be giving each island a ship, allowing the islands to trade, alliance, or even go to war.
Kill them! I want their heads, boys!
People are free to do whatever they want. Become a fisherman, trade with other islands and get rich. Or you can murder and steal, even become a pirate. Some islands became democracies while others became dictatorships, and some fell into anarchy. Islands will be conquered.
Give them hell! No!
Leaders will rise and fall. All I can say is pick an island to root for, and enjoy the video. 20 players were put on each of the 5 starting islands. As day 1 began, every island awoke to find themselves shipwrecked. All 100 players would have to adapt to their islands quickly. Players could find a limited supply of fruit on the ground or in barrels. Players could also hunt for wild chickens, pigs, and snakes for meat, but a campfire was needed to cook, and wood could be hard to find. There were also a few murders as players fought over the same supplies.
Somebody's trying to murder me, by the way.
No one trusted each other on day 1. The only 2 renewable sources of food were fishing and digging up worms to eat. But both of these activities left you defenseless to hostile mobs and other players. The mob spawns on each island were overwhelming. 20 players on one island results in an explosive skeleton spawning every few seconds. Relentless waves of skeletons and phantoms spawned on these starving survivors. Even venomous snakes and wild boars posed a threat. To make survival even more difficult, I only equipped each player with 1 knife that can't be thrown. And I gave them a grapple gun. The lack of firepower and range made killing mobs tricky, and it made dealing with explosive skeletons a nightmare. The islands that could not start working together would get wiped out quickly.
Guys.
Food can be used to heal, but food is scarce on these islands. Anarchy broke out on each island as the survivors competed for the same resources. Players fought over food, wood, ammo chests, campfires, and shelter. They also raced to find valuable supplies like storage crates and special weapons.
I'm gonna hide this. This might be useful.
Looting supplies increased your chances of survival, but it also increased your chances of getting murdered for it. There was no society at this point. Only lawless animals. I don't know what killed more people on day 1, the mobs or the other islanders, but the smartest players of each island strategically made allies instead of enemies. In this sandy prison, joining a team greatly increases your chances of survival.
Yo guys, let's have an alliance here, right?
We gotta elect a leader.
The players who tried surviving alone ended up dying to mobs or getting murdered by a larger group of players. Joining a team wasn't just smart, it was essential. The players who will go on to become leaders all have one thing in common. They began investing in friends on day 1. Give out a few pieces of your fruit today, and the people will elect you as their leader tomorrow. Rival leaders race to expand their teams and their territory. All 5 islands quickly transitioned from anarchy to tribal warfare as rival clans formed and battled over territory. Although primitive, small nations were already starting to rise as the sun set on day 1. Unlike the other islands where survival is a struggle, Purple Island is a paradise with no mob spawns. The only thing Purple Islanders have to fear is each other. 2 rival clans formed. A player named Flairez, leader of the Purple Panty Party, claimed the lighthouse as his territory. This tower was easily defendable and offered his people protection from the rest of the island.
We are the Purple Panty Party.
Meanwhile, Captain Bennett claimed the entire center of the island. The tavern in the middle acted as Captain Bennett's castle, which just so happened to have cannons aimed at his rival's tower. From his tavern, Captain Bennett commanded the largest army. He had half the island working for him.
We're in business, boys. This is my tavern, you dogs.
Captain Bennett made everyone pay him a tax of 1 fish to enter his territory.
If anyone wants to get in, you tell them you have to pay me.
And the penalty for trespassing is getting stabbed to death.
I think I've made my ownership of this tavern fairly clear, and examples do need to be made to enforce my rule.
He often did the stabbing himself to make an example of his enemies. Captain Bennett believed it was better to be feared than loved.
Don't come back until you have a piece of fish, you dog.
People dying.
But he was very paranoid about losing his territory.
I want 2 men watching the doors. I don't want anyone coming in this tavern without a proper entrance fee.
Bloom and Knight, go to the second entrance.
Step 2.
He had 2 guards covering each entrance to his tavern, men covering the bridges, a man guarding the rooftop, and one guarding the sewers beneath the tavern. He also installed traps everywhere.
Pay the entrance fee. Get out now. This is my tavern, you dog. And you have to pay us a piece of fish.
And Captain Bennett was getting quite rich from the taxes he charged Purple Island. He amassed a giant stockpile of fish. Food is the only currency that matters on this island, and Captain Bennett was rich. With this cooked fish to help in PvP, his gang was both the strongest and largest army.
Everybody make sure you're stocked up on fish.
We had an unfortunate death, but fuck him, who cares?
Who was the unfortunate death?
I couldn't be
It doesn't
bothered.
matter. It
Didn't know
doesn't
his
matter.
name.
Owning the entire center of the island also meant that he owned the armory locker here, which is the only place anyone can refill their grapple gun ammo. Tensions heated up as Flares and his people felt trapped in their tower, as Captain Bennett's gang was growing violently territorial. And Captain Bennett actually put a bounty on Flares' head. The assassin would be rewarded with 5 fish.
He's gonna want the spotlight, and I want him taken care of. This is our island.
But this job would be impossible to pull off as long as Flares stayed in his tower. Flares decided to send a messenger to Captain Bennett to organize a peace talk between the 2 groups.
Go find Captain Bennett and request a meeting on the bridge between the tower and the tavern.
Unfortunately, this messenger did not pay the entrance fee of 1 fish, and Captain Bennett gently reminded him that this fee was not optional.
You have to pay us 1 piece of fish if you want in, you dogs. If you want to speak, you speak publicly in front of my gang, you bloody dog.
That's
And
perfect.
if you want
That'll
in, you
work
have
with
to
me.
pay us fish.
Gotcha. Got it all written down. So I was set
Don't
down by
come
my
back until
captain.
you have a piece of fish, you dog.
Oh!
Everyone, this is what happens when you try and mess with our gang. Anyone who crosses us is gonna taste our blades.
Yes, sir.
Who assassinated my secretary?
With diplomacy now broken down, the island was on the brink of war. Citizens of the lighthouse were starting to panic.
Did you just...
Did we lose a cabinet member?
Despite the public stabbings and ruling by fear, Captain Bennett's territory is being threatened. A group of homeless players tried living in the sewer beneath Captain Bennett's tavern. This sewer had a passageway that led straight up into the tavern. Fearing an invasion from Flares' army, Captain Bennett sent his guards down into the sewer to kill the homeless.
This way.
They ran off this way originally. They might be anywhere here. Oh, sir, come here. Hello, sir. Sir, you are under arrest. Come here.
Am I gonna be executed?
You will be executed if you keep running.
This is not fair. I need a fair trial.
You will be. Do not run. Do not resist, sir.
I need a guarantee of a fair trial.
We will guarantee you a fair trial if you comply.
If you comply, then let's go.
Everything will be fine. I'm complying.
Justice was swift here. All outsiders were to be executed.
I have the right to it.
Sorry, sir.
Captain Bennett decided it was finally time to conquer the rest of Purple Island. He sent his army out to claim the other half of the island and exterminate anyone still living in these lands.
Understood.
All right.
Gentlemen, let's go.
Move out.
Kill on sight. Good luck, my boys.
Hello, sir. Sir, come here. Sir, you are under arrest.
On the across the walls.
Mr. Commander. I got you.
Okay, wow. This is exactly what I like to see. Good job, boys.
Captain Bennett had conquered nearly the entire island, although he had murdered a quarter of its population in the process.
Trees of green and clouds of white.
For extra security from invaders, he installed more traps in the basement and stationed additional guards down there as well. No one got in or out of Captain Bennett's land without his knowledge, or without paying him a fish. The red starting island is the absolute worst of them all. The volcano erupted regularly, spewing lava rock onto the survivors.
Guys, that's not an eruption. That's a false alarm. Eruption! It is an eruption! Run! It's an eruption!
The ocean water boiled around the island. Geysers launched players up into the air, dealing fall damage.
Tommy? Get away!
And earthquakes made navigating the rocky terrain difficult.
Get away! No!
Don't die!
And this island is nearly impossible to survive on with this mob spawn difficulty. Explosive skeletons will spawn in and instantly blow up from a geyser beneath them, giving no chance of survival.
Run away from me!
Run!
Get away! Run!
Every second you spend on this island is gambling with your life. Between the mobs and the volcano, these survivors knew this island was a death sentence.
Crazy gamer, save yourself!
Well, that's not good. Things are going horribly wrong.
Fortunately, there is a cave on this island where players could take shelter from the volcano, if they could run there fast enough. Although this cave was risky to stay huddled in for too long, as one explosive skeleton could eliminate the entire population.
Cake!
What? Oh my god.
The cave is dangerous.
Some people tried living in these caves, but they had to dig up worms as the only food source. And PvE spawns were risky in these tight tunnels. The players of Red Island quickly realized they needed to group up and work together for survival.
I still have nothing.
Yo, want some worms?
You friendly? Everyone's trying to kill me. Let's try and find food. There might be food here. Oh shoot!
No. Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
A player named Queen Mallory began leading the 10 survivors that remained here.
Temporarily, I am the leader. We're going to establish a council, but for the moment, it's me.
The volcano erupted again and everyone raced to the cave. They decided it was time to hold an election and come up with a better plan for survival.
I don't think we should go into the cave.
The only safe place for them to hold the election was in the water. It wasn't boiling right now, but there were some sharks.
Yo, there's a shark.
Shark! Ah!
I'm establishing a nation.
This is not our leader, bro.
Can we shoot this guy out of the cannon?
And they elected not one, but 3 leaders. Queen Mallory was elected General of the Army. Beast was elected Ambassador to the other islands. And Blazington was elected Resource Manager. One leader would handle peace, one would handle war, and one would make sure every citizen on Red Island had food to survive. They named their kingdom the Red Tide Tridents. Just as a trident has 3 prongs, so they too would have 3 leaders to guide them. Survivors here unanimously agreed on one thing. It was time to leave this island, even if that meant conquering someone else's island. The people of the Red Tide Tridents had suffered through the worst island on the map and lost half of their population, but they bonded over their shared suffering. They were united by their struggles, and they would stop at nothing to ensure the survival of their people. Now 3 equal leaders sounded good in theory, but Queen Mallory quickly gained more power than the others and became the supreme leader of Red Island. Blue Island is a paradise with wide open beaches, a lush mountain, and plentiful sources of food. However, the insane mob spawns here posed a serious threat. The island quickly split into 2 groups of survivors. The Brethren of the Might claimed the west side of the island.
This part of the island's ours. The Brethren of the Mic.
The Brethren of the Mic. They only allowed people to join them if they would talk in game chat.
Somebody mind covering me? I'm fishing right now.
No, I protect you. I got you. Take my meat. I will get more food.
You guys are the Brethren of the Mic, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Can I join your little group? Can I donate to the food bank?
However, the rest of the island believed this was discrimination and started their own group of survivors on the east side of the island.
They wanted to discriminate people with non-mics. We can't be having that.
No! The players of Blue Island have zero survival instincts.
Skelly! Oh my.
They might go extinct before they can elect a leader. These people have the survival instinct of hamsters. They were all just standing around a campfire while someone held a keg over the campfire. I feel like everyone's just kind of standing around waiting until they get blown up.
I don't like. Oh no. He's dead.
Blue Island has such poor survival instincts that this might just be natural selection.
That sounds fine to me, honestly.
Literally hamsters.
I am so unlucky.
No one could agree on a leader, and tensions started to heat up on the island. A player named King from the west side started spreading propaganda about a rising leader named Noob from the east side. King started spreading a rumor that Noob was a murderer.
Yeah, I just saw how Noob tried to lure one in his trap with the keg. He tried to kill me with the keg. It's behind the rock. Look, I think it's still there.
Tensions reached a boiling point when King tried to assassinate Noob.
Guys, King is trying to kill me for some reason. Hey, knife distance away, King. Knife distance away. King's trying to kill me. He's a traitor.
You are not escaping me!
King, what's wrong with you?
Noob had to escape into exile in the mountains. Meanwhile, a player named Grim Reaper had a very different approach for gaining power. To win over allies, he started bribing people with fish. He spent the first 3 days catching fish and cooking them so he could pass them out to everyone.
Me, just survive and make as many friends as I can, because I hate to have enemies. Alright, I'm going back to fishing.
He was trying to buy votes with the only currency that matters on this island. But meanwhile, the rest of the island was still in anarchy, and no one could agree on a leader. King got impatient and began killing off anyone who would not submit to him.
Oh no.
He started performing public executions, making an example out of anyone who stood in his way.
Oh crap! King's a murderer.
One by one, he killed off citizens of the Blue Island, but his biggest political rival, Noob, was still surviving.
Noob, where is he? Come here, traitor.
Let's talk like civil people. Let's make peace. We don't need to fight. Hey, come on, stop that.
He's a traitor. Kill him.
No, I'm not. King is.
No.
The worst part is that even despite the daily executions happening, Noob still could not find supporters. Noob was still struggling to rally the island together against King. King is just one man, yet everyone on the Blue Island is too scared to stand against him. Noob struggled to survive daily assassination attempts from King. As the political executions continued, Blue Island's population was quickly shrinking. If Noob cannot unite the Blue Island quickly, there will be no one left to lead.
I will kill them all.
You're gonna kill, but you'll be the only one. King, wait, let's think about this. King is just gonna end up being the only person left. The yellow starting island is a desolate rock.
Chicken, chicken, chicken.
Two mountain peaks tower into the sky with a bridge connecting them. Perilous cliffsides spiral up the mountains, but caves and tunnels offer shelter for the islanders. Two groups of survivors have formed here. The largest group gathered in a cave at the base of the mountain.
This is gonna be our home base.
They had traps here to protect from mobs, except several people have been accidentally killed by the floor spikes trap.
No!
Who did that?
Who activated the trap?
No, Dr. Fruit! No! Who pulled the lever? Keg!
The other group of survivors claimed the mountain peak as their territory. This was a safer spot than the base of the mountains, but keg skeletons still posed a major threat here, as one explosion could send you falling to your death.
Another keg skelly.
Oh, I hear another one.
Oh, someone died! Someone died!
Guys.
Oh, guys.
UC, stay away. UC, don't be a hero.
I'm not being a hero. I'm running away.
Oh my. No.
There's an ammo chest and 2 campfires up here, perfect for cooking the wild chickens.
Oh my.
There's another keg.
Rest in peace.
The clan at the mountain peak was led by a player named UC. UC pleaded with the group living beneath the mountain to climb up and join them at the top.
I've almost got blown up 4 times, and I've seen a lot of people die to the spike trap, and I'm not happy. I think this spot is safe. I think we need to group up here and just stay up here.
I ain't leaving my territory. We must join forces, or else we're never gonna survive.
We must make peace amongst our people. The harsh climate is our enemy, not each other.
They all needed to work together to survive here, but these cave dwellers beneath them were too stubborn to leave.
I'm never leaving this cave. I'm not relocating to the mountain peaks. I'm afraid of heights.
Who needs food? Who needs food? I have food. Who needs food?
Die.
Rest in peace, PXLH.
And everyone living down here eventually died off completely. UC's clan on the mountain peak was now the only 8 survivors remaining on the Yellow Island.
No! It's lit.
As keg skeletons became increasingly difficult to deal with, UC decided to move the clan fully off the main island and live on a rock on the shoreline instead.
You guys' safety is my #1. I would not be here if it wasn't for you guys. This is a perfect fishing spot, you know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking.
Living on a rock is depressing, but there's no mob spawns here and they can fish in peace. They'll live on this rock permanently, and they'll only ever leave to grapple up the mountain to cook the fish with the campfires.
I got a fish!
Never mind.
Oh, he's the winner!
Despite losing over half of his island population, UC had managed to unite the survivors and ensure their safety. The island held a vote to formally elect UC as chancellor.
Everyone has 1 vote that matters.
I vote for you.
I vote for you.
You, sir. I'm so proud of you, brother. I'm so proud of you.
You could just call me Chancellor UC. I can be taken out as Chancellor whenever you guys want. You know what I mean? If you guys think I'm doing a bad job and enough of you vote on it, I'm out.
Now they call themselves the Ember Gold Coalition.
For now, we have to figure out ammo and fishing. If everyone starts fishing right now, we'll get like an inventory of fish and then we'll put it in the barrel.
The Ember Gold Coalition wants to remain neutral and avoid war with the other islands.
If we don't agree with somebody, we are able to hurt them economically so that we don't have to hurt them physically.
Their goal was to get rich by collecting resources like fish and gunpowder barrels to trade with the other islands. And so they got to work. Half of them caught fish while the other half had the dangerous job of cooking the fish without dying to mobs.
I will not make anyone do something that I wouldn't do myself. Safety is my #1 priority.
Cheers.
Watch out, skeletons, everyone back up. Let someone deal with it. It's a scary job. I don't want anybody dying. Allow me to cook the food for you, please. We have a little bit of a surplus right now.
We got hella food.
They worked in shifts to grapple up the mountainside and use the campfires. A barrel was used to store their wealth.
These barrels here are arguably the safest spot. We will fish, put food in here that needs to be cooked. They'll take it and go over to their cooking spot and cook it. And then they'll give us 1 barrel with cooked fish for us so that we can stay alive. All right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
We are not 2 separate factions working. We are 1 united group. If anybody objects, please speak now. You know what I mean? I would love to be able to talk about this.
Despite a rocky start, Chancellor UC had turned the Ember Gold Coalition into an efficient machine. Everyone worked together in harmony to survive and prosper.
I'm gonna make all of us rich. We're just gonna make money. Sell fish, sell gunpowder kegs. That's my #1 priority. Is you guys. Love this.
Meanwhile, in Amethysia, Captain Bennett had conquered nearly the entire island, but there was still one piece of land on this island that this dictator didn't own: the lighthouse defended by Flares and his army. As Captain Bennett sat in his castle and counted his fish, he couldn't help but feel unsatisfied. His assassins could not penetrate Flares' tower, his cannons could not breach its walls, and Flares' army was still too large to justify the losses of a battle. And so Captain Bennett did something completely unexpected. He organized a peace talk. Flares didn't trust him, but he had no choice.
He controls the tavern. He controls the people. I think we need to have his support.
Flares and Captain Bennett met on the bridge between their lands. They also brought their armies in case things got messy.
We need to stack bread.
Greetings, Captain Bennett.
And then suddenly, to everyone's surprise, Captain Bennett offered to step down and serve beneath Flares. But Flares had a smaller army and less land, so why would this violent, greedy dictator yield to Flares? Captain Bennett was getting nervous that someone would assassinate him. Captain Bennett realized it was smarter to install a puppet leader he could control, while he himself would secretly hold the true power in the shadows.
Before every decision that gets made, I want to be informed about everything.
I think we can agree to that.
I could stay in the shadows and you could be the public figurehead. If anyone wants to assassinate whoever's in charge of this island, it'll be you. I like you, matey.
We have an accord.
But here, I thought you were planning an assassination.
I could never, Captain. I could never.
And Flares agreed to this because he only cared about survival.
He works behind the scenes for his safety, and I have the target on my back.
And so Captain Bennett now had total control of Purple Island. His soldiers were still only loyal to him, and his territory remained under his ownership.
Everyone in this tavern who ain't in my game, get out now!
Flares was merely leader in name only, while Captain Bennett held the true power with none of the risk.
This is our island. Now we have a partnership with Flares, but don't get that mistaken. We're still in charge here. Boy, we did originally have an assassination contract on him, but after a lovely discussion, I still have a say in how this here island is run, and he's taken all the public fame. Now, anyone who wants to assassinate the head of this island will come after him.
Hey, who are you?
Not us. I think it's for the best.
Next, Captain Bennett held a public election to make his new puppet leader look more official, although obviously this was a rigged election.
Everybody, in my tavern now!
You're good.
The Purple Penny Party is on its way, Captain.
Everyone, welcome! Remember, anyone who doesn't vote for him will be murdered on the spot.
All right. Time to enact the presidency.
I, Flares, of the Purple Panty Party, will be running for president. I would also like to announce that Captain Bennett has endorsed us and pledged his support as president. We would like to instate a mandate on drunk driving. You must have a 2 BAC of grog to operate a vessel. We also want to legalize all crime. By legalizing all crime, our crime rates will drop to 0.
Exactly.
Third, the instatement of the FDA, also known as the Free Drug Administration. Thank you.
I may be too drunk to stand, but I ain't too drunk to vote.
Can I still run for president?
I'll kill you if you
Because
try
the
it.
only person I know running is anyone else running for president right now.
Anyone who says yes is tasting my blade.
Shout aye. Aye. Does anyone want to whimper nay? It seems we have someone sitting down who argues with this.
Oh, Bennett, chill.
Damn,
No longer. That takes care of that.
Now, with a landslide, Flares 3026 is now president. Please wish him a congratulations.
Well done.
Let's go. Thank you.
Flares was unanimously elected president, and the whole Purple Island was renamed to Amethysia, deriving its name from the purple amethyst crystal. The whole island was united, and a flag for Amethysia was created, as well as propaganda posters asking citizens to enlist in the military, while also reminding them that it's mandatory under threat of execution.
If any of you try to kill this president here, you will die. Any assassinations are punishable by death immediately.
Captain Bennett threw a party in his tavern to celebrate the new president.
The celebration is now! We have a party!
But the purple citizens still feared Captain Bennett. He wasn't fooling anyone that this was a democracy. Everyone knew Captain Bennett could still have them murdered if he wanted to, which is why during the election celebration, the citizens walked up to Captain Bennett one by one and made an offering of a fish.
My man would like to grant Captain Bennett a gift of fish.
Even Flares' own second in command made an offering.
You've seen many fish today. This one is the biggest of the lot.
Oh, it's a fine fish, lad.
Prosperous days
We'll have
ahead.
a wonderful partnership.
And Captain Bennett took careful notice of who offered him a fish and who did not.
Peace offering.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you, lad. Hey, no hard feelings. No hard feelings.
Wait, why
Even
no
though-
hard feelings? Who's this?
I killed his brother. He didn't want to vote for flares. Yeah.
Native.
Get your ass on stage.
I'm literally right next to you.
Oh, sorry, I'm a bit blind in one of my eyes.
Blood a course to the night, to a place I once knew, to a place where my hope died along with my crew.
Behind this happy celebration of island unity and democracy, a dictatorship had just been installed in Amethysia. Flares and Captain Bennett met to discuss the creation of a military, and it would need to be the strongest military of any island. The other islands would likely be invading soon, as Amethysia is the only island without mob spawns, making it the most desirable land to survive on. But who would lead this new military? They decided to start a fight club in a pit to determine the strongest fighter on the island.
Let's cut out the fat, if you will.
I could not have said it better myself. We went only to the strongest, best fighter in Port Merrick. To the tavern to announce it.
Lad, I love ya.
We will be having a gladiatorial street fight.
And I better get at least 2 people volunteering or somebody's losing their balls.
You may be voluntold if you don't volunteer.
Jeez.
This is scary.
Chill out. To the gladiator ring!
Let's go, boys!
Everyone was forced to attend under threat of execution.
This is really gonna be the arena?
No way! That's so good!
2 by 2, the citizens of Amethysia had to fight in the pit, and those who did not volunteer were gently encouraged to.
Don't make me volunteer you.
No, it has been decided.
Bappo just got volunteered.
Let's go, boys!
To the death in 3, 2, 1. Fight!
Kill him now!
They'll snuff out their flame.
You're president. Bappo, you got this, Bappo.
Spray his blood across the walls! I want to see his guts across the floor, me! Kill him! You got this! You're my man now! My second! Kill
Let him
him
taste
now.
the blade.
Yeah! Kill him! Yeah!
Give Felicity food so that he might heal. He has earned it.
I knew you had it in you.
Does anybody else challenge Felicity?
You cowardice.
We have one contender.
You're being nominated.
The citizens had to fight one another in the pit, and those deemed too weak for this society were killed in combat.
In
Now light up
corner, we got Felicity!
Yeah!
In
Now light up
corner, we got insane.
Nobody. Paint
On
his
the
blood
match
across the walls.
Fight! Either way,
I
he
want to
doesn't
see
get the
his
war.
blood
You got this,
spread
look at the
across
fence.
the walls. Congratulations, lad! My second in command, right there. No one can beat him.
The gladiator who had the most kills was named Felixity,
Does anybody else challenge Felicity?
and so he was awarded the title of General. A ceremony was held to honor General Felixity and the creation of the Amethysien military.
Congratulate Felicity on his mighty victory. I hereby appoint you the victor of the gladiatorial games, the general of the armies, and the presidentially appointed celebrity of our island. Thank you.
Aye.
You may rise. Congratulations, Felicity.
Let's hear it for that.
General Felixity was tasked with conquering the other islands and spreading the Amethysien Empire. Amethysia could now defend their homeland while also offensively spreading their empire, as they now had the largest population of any island. Meanwhile, on the Blue Island, the people here do not want to follow King, but no one was brave enough to publicly oppose him. Anti-King propaganda was spread, including mugshots of him. Everyone knew he was a murderer, but without a real government, Blue Island could not organize against him. And so King continued with his public executions. Many of the citizens went into hiding, including these 2 that hid at the bottom of a well.
I'm scared. Help me.
Where's the murder happening? I'm gonna hide again. Oh my god.
Meanwhile, Grim Reaper was still trying to make allies by giving out fish, until he made a terrible mistake. Grim Reaper offered a fish to the one person on Blue Island that he shouldn't have, King. Getting nervous, Grim Reaper later tried to offer King a pineapple as well.
King, I'm offering you a pineapple in exchange for an alliance. In exchange for no more killings, will you take a pineapple?
I'm scared. I need a hug.
And by attempting to have his own life be spared, Grim Reaper was simply arming King with the food he needed to continue his conquest. The next day, while Grim Reaper was fishing, King stabbed him in the back, literally.
No! Please don't let me die!
King, let's put our differences aside, King.
The last survivors on this island were all in hiding now, including Noob. And Noob decided it was time to make one final attempt to rally the island together.
Guys, let's come and talk at the far end of the shore. He is a traitor to this island. He's a traitor to these people.
He found support from the few remaining players and sent a hit squad to assassinate King.
This will be a hard fight. Well, we're still left standing.
But now it was too little, too late. King is not only a psychopath, he's also a skilled PvPer. King killed 2 of the assassins, and Noob realized it was over. Blue Island had already lost 80% of its population. If he kept fighting King, there would no longer be anyone left to lead. Noob had no choice but to submit to King. He told his followers to submit to King as well.
I submit to. I will be a loyal follower.
We are honored to serve you in your glory.
All praise the king.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
King had now seized the throne through violence. Even without an army, King had managed to kill the entire island until there was no one left to oppose him. He finally won the throne, but at what cost? At what cost, King says.
You're one to say that.
Maybe the weight of it's just now hitting King. What have I done? King is the Bay Harbor Butcher.
We will eliminate everybody who stands in our way.
If there's one lesson to be learned from the Blue Island, it's that all it takes for evil to win is for a few good men to do nothing. And so King now ruled over his kingdom of 4 players. Meanwhile, on the Green Island, players are dying off quickly in this jungle. It's covered in venomous snakes, and with limited food, these players cannot afford to get bitten even once. There's also a hostile boar on this island, which has already killed 3 unlucky players. People keep murdering and robbing each other. Many players hid or resorted to digging up worms to survive on. By nightfall, every barrel on the island was empty, the fruit was used up, and the relentless PvE spawns pushed the Green Island to its breaking point. The remaining players were forced to group up with each other for survival. They divided into 2 groups. One on the middle island, led by Rocket Head.
There's bars everywhere.
And the other is a cult that claimed the West Island. They call themselves the Order of the Stool, and as you might have guessed, they worship a stool, which they carry with them at all times. Their leader is named Elander, who originally found the stool. I've found them gathered around the stool chanting at it.
All hail the stool.
All hail the stool. The stool means everything to me, and that's why we're the Order of the Stool. This entire island's ours. All hail the stool.
The stool speaks for us all.
But these guys aren't crazy. The territory they claimed is the most prime real estate on the entire island. It has limited PvE spawns, and most importantly, it has a campfire. They were lucky enough to find wood to get the campfire burning, and now they can catch fish and snakes and cook their meat for survival.
We got fresh snakes. Hold on.
But the Order of the Stool wasn't satisfied with just one territory. Their goal was to gain control of this entire island. Everyone would need to join the Order of the Stool, or die. But despite how radical this cult's mission was, their leader, Elander, secretly had a different goal in mind. He wasn't concerned with fighting his own people to conquer this single island. He was more concerned about the looming war with the other 4 islands. Elander only pretended to want island domination to keep his cult happy, but what he secretly wanted was unity for the whole Green Island. Unity against their common enemy. And fortunately, Rocket Head's clan on the middle island wanted the exact same thing. Unlike the Order of the Stool, Rocket Head's clan was a peaceful group who wanted only to survive. Elander's cult was ready to conquer the island, but to avoid bloodshed, Elander volunteered to travel to Rocket Head's clan by himself to negotiate their surrender. But secretly, Elander would be asking them to unify their clans as equals, an offer that Rocket Head accepted.
Teaming up is our best bet. We should elect 2 leaders.
Elander and Rockethead made a deal that they would be co-presidents, each with equal authority, the United Green Island. Then both islands called a group meeting where the announcement was made.
We were once two groups, but that is no more, because we need to all be united under our green flag. We should unite as 10 and try to build up our food supply and consolidate resources.
Expecting to hear a surrender, the Order of the Stool felt betrayed by Elander. But Elander gave a speech explaining that the Green Island had to unify if they were to survive war with the other islands. Both clans understood that they had to put aside their pride and team up for the future of Green Island. That is, everyone except one player, Ice Staff Levi, who quietly slipped away from the meeting. This man now had one goal: assassinate President Elander. Levi said Elander has forgotten the ways of the stool.
Elander forgot the ways of the stool.
And with Elander gone, Ice Staff Levi could ascend to the wooden stool throne and reignite the Civil War. Elander was focused on global politics and conquering the world, but Ice Staff Levi only cared about conquering the Green Island. But assassinating Elander would be impossible 1v9. That is until Ice Staff Levi found something as evil and sinister as he is. He dug up a Reaper's chest on the island. This cursed item will spawn in an army of skeletons loyal to the man who opens it. His plan was to wait until the next Green Island meeting, and then set off the Reaper's chest, so he can murder Elander in the chaos. And so the time came. The co-presidents Rockethead and Elander called an island meeting on the West Island, ironically the original territory of the cult, and Ice Staff Levi patiently waited for his moment to strike. He unsealed the chest early to get the skeletons spawning, and then he silently swam over to the meeting with the chest. The meeting suddenly erupted in chaos as several explosive keg skeletons spawned in at once.
Keg, you're falling apart. We're being attacked.
Ice Staff Levi had summoned a skeleton army to surround Elander.
Did we lose anyone? No! Oh, this is two! Hey, get off this island, it's not safe. Opposite, run, just run.
After the survivors evacuated, they realized Elander was missing. And standing beside the opened Reaper's chest was Ice Staff Levi.
Ice Staff is still over there.
Yes, this is my island. They talk about politics and and nobody cares on this island. I have claimed the Stool Island because I like stool. I want stool. They must die.
He had reclaimed the West Island for the Order of the Stool, and his skeleton army now occupied the land. But his old clan would never join him again after witnessing him murder his own people. Ice Staff Levi now ruled a nation, but it was a nation of one. He had reclaimed the Holy Stool, but he sat on it alone. Meanwhile in Amethysia,
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough, irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Everything here is soft and smooth.
Captain Bennett just got engaged to another Amethyscian named Eliza. She had worked in his tavern as a waitress.
Check him.
What are you doing in my tavern? You have to pay an entrance fee if you want
Hey,
in
it's
here.
Eliza, it's Eliza, it's Eliza.
Oh,
Chill,
oh,
chill,
sorry,
chill.
She works here. I didn't recognize. Eliza, ever since I laid my eye on ye, I knew ye were the one. Will ye marry me?
And soon she would be his bride. Meanwhile, on the Green Island, terrified by the sudden murder and treason, the rest of Green Island relocated all the way to the opposite eastern side of the island. There was no hope of arresting Ice Staff Levi while his skeleton army protected him, and Rockethead now had to go from co-president to the sole leader of Green Island. They had lost 3 members, their territory, and they had a killer on the loose, but all they could do now was wait and plot their next move against the traitor. And so the next day, Green Island prepared for battle, when suddenly they noticed a familiar face.
Elander's over here.
Now we won't. Elander's alive?
Elander's alive?
I'm alive.
Elander!
I have spent exile in a cave, living on grubs and earthworms, but I'm back.
President Elander was standing right behind them, seemingly back from the dead. Elander had faked his own death to survive. When the attack happened, Elander had immediately suspected an assassination attempt, and he ran away from the meeting unnoticed. He hid in a cave for his own safety. He stayed here living off of worms until he could figure out who the traitor was. It was too risky to return to his people while his assassin was on the loose, so he laid low in his cave and waited. He later returned to the scene of the crime and caught Ice Staff Levi red-handed with the Reaper's chest. And then Elander did something unexpected. He confronted Ice Staff Levi one-on-one, not to get revenge on his assassin, but just to talk man-to-man.
Why would you do this?
This is my island.
You split us up.
I keep this island.
You separated us. You were with
us.
us.
I don't want them.
If we don't have unification, we're not going to be able to survive.
Elander didn't want revenge. He only wanted to unify the island, even if that meant forgiving the very man that had tried to kill him. Elander actually offered Ice Staff Levi his former position back as part of the United Green Island. Elander was certain that every Green Islander mattered if they were to stand a chance in the coming World War. This was bigger than both of them. This was even bigger than his friend's betrayal. And so, Elander returned and started aura farming on this rock until the council noticed him.
I'm alive.
Elander! I don't know what shocked people more, the fact that Elander returned from the dead, or the fact that he returned with his assassin, now a friend once more. The Green Island held a vote for if the traitor should be let back in.
From the atrocities that he's done, I want us to seriously consider whether we should want Levi back in our team or not.
The more members we have, the more chance we have of winning. I think if we can get him to trust us and we can trust him, he could be a valuable...
Yeah, he could be a valuable asset to our team. I agree with that.
Okay, well, that's unanimous. Levi, welcome back.
But Ice Staff Levi had one condition, that the United Green Island be renamed to the Order of the Stool. No longer a cult, but a blood-stained island, now unified. And then, Ice Staff Levi threw his Reaper's chest into the ocean to despawn, erasing the past and looking forward to the future. And then, to Elander's surprise, Rockethead stepped down from his role as co-president, declaring that it was Elander who had truly united the Green Island and deserved to lead alone.
I've let many people die. I don't think I'm fit for leadership. I vote Elander for leader.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Rockethead would now serve as second in command. They now decided it was finally time to take ownership of the whole Green Island together, starting by hunting down every venomous snake until they were all extinct from the island. Next, they killed the boar which had killed 3 people.
You get, bro. That's my leader.
They turned this unsurvivable hellscape into a paradise. They worked together to catch fish and cook them.
Let's go fishing, y'all.
They also dug worms as a food source. Elander appointed guards to kill mobs, while the workers collected food. They shared all the food with each other, and everything was for the collective survival of the island. Only 8 players from the Green Island remained, but this was the most unified team of any island. They had survived a civil war, and were now unified under Elander. As the sun set on day 6, this world was about to change forever. Each island awoke to find a ship parked at their island. For the first time ever, they could interact with the other islands. This gave the potential for unity, cooperation, and trade. But it also gave the opportunity for war and piracy. No one's island was safe anymore. No one's resources were safe anymore. Alliances were quickly formed and treaties were signed as paranoia broke out across the islands. Each island sent ambassadors out to learn about the other islands and figure out who could be trusted and who was a threat. The Embergold Coalition made it clear to everyone that they would remain neutral and peaceful. They were only interested in trade. Red Island was desperate to leave their volcano and tried finding a nation that would accept them as immigrants. On the Blue Island, the people panicked as the other nations discovered that there was only 4 blue citizens left. Surely someone would come conquer them. King, their king, promised to protect them, but his words were not very reassuring. On Green Island, President Elander was anxious to find an island to alliance with. He desperately wanted to ensure his people's safety before any conflict broke out. He discovered that the neighboring island, Amethysia, has the largest army of any nation, so it seemed obvious to alliance with them. President Elander traveled to meet with President Flares. However, the terms of the alliance were brutal.
Today we are here to discuss the Utopian Accords. You will be immediately absorbed into the Amethystian Empire. You will be under the supervision of myself, Emperor Flares, and my second-in-command, Captain B.
Green Island would have to become citizens of the Amethystian Empire, with Flares as the Emperor. Green Island's Order of the Stool would be dissolved. Elander would have to step down as president. This wasn't an alliance, this was a takeover of the Green Island. Democracy would be over. Now this might sound bad, but how far would President Elander go to protect his citizens from danger? Could he really betray their democracy by signing this treaty? The Green citizens would be furious. But Flares promised that the Green Island and all of its citizens would be protected by the largest army on the map. And on the flip side, failure to sign this treaty would make the Green Island an enemy of the biggest army on the map. President Flares had President Elander by the cannonballs, so to speak. Elander carefully made his choice. Green Island would join the Amethystian Empire.
We are now one empire. Glory to Amethystia!
Glory to Amethystia! Glory to Amethystia!
Aside from losing their national pride and stool, the main downside of this alliance was that the Green citizens could now be drafted into military service for the Empire. Elander would step down as president, and his citizens would hate him for it, but they would survive. The future of this world was uncertain, but Elander ensured his people would be a part of this future. A ceremony was held to coronate Flares as Emperor of the Amethystian Empire.
I crown thee, Flares, Emperor of Amethystia.
Glory to Amethystia!
Glory to Amethystia! May we prosper!
Even the skies are celebrating, purple and green. It is written in the stars.
Captain Bennett was named Lord of Amethystia, while Elander was named Lord of Green Island. Democracy died today, but the people were actually pretty excited about it, as their new military strength now made them the most dangerous force on the seas.
Let's party, lads! We'll have total control of these seas!
Captain Bennett made sure he was officially declared as next in line for the throne. He was now commanding an empire from the shadows. Meanwhile, the Embergold Coalition was forming an alliance of their own. Chancellor UC signed a treaty with Queen Mallory of the Red Island to allow immigration between their islands. The Embergold Coalition was very sympathetic to the struggles of the Red Island, as both nations had survived the most difficult starting islands. So their leaders ensured that immigration, peace, and trade could happen freely between their islands. Every island used their ship for diplomacy, except for one. King locked down the Blue Island, worried about his citizens leaving, and desperate to hide the true size of his kingdom. But of course, word quickly spread that there was only 4 blue people left, and rumors spread about why the Blue Island only has 4 people left.
It's come to my attention that Blue Island, they've got a tyrant running the whole place. Now, he's not gonna stop at one island, he's gonna come after all the other islands, and I think we need to stop that threat before it reaches here.
We stop Blue Island at the source and wipe them out entirely.
Everyone found out that King had murdered his way to power, and all the other islands forbid travel to the Blue Island. Emperor Flares called an emergency meeting with all the island leaders to discuss the threat of Blue Island and its king. Everyone agreed that King was dangerous, too dangerous to be left alive. He needed to be removed from power immediately.
Keeping this man alive is only giving him more opportunity to kill more people.
He's a bloody tyrant. I say kill the lot of them.
The Amethystian Empire volunteered to lead the invasion if they could gain ownership of the Blue Island afterwards. However, the island leaders clashed over whether or not to kill the Blue citizens. Were they victims or were they complicit in the crimes of their leader? Amethystia argued that all the Blue citizens were guilty of their leader's crimes.
I say we just go in there and kill everybody. They're a bunch of f***ing cultists who accepted a tyrant as their leader.
Were you there?
Their leader is a bloodthirsty tyrant.
Oh, what's the difference with you? You're wanting to go in there and completely wipe them out. It is 4 people against 18. We have the upper hand and the advantage.
Decisions require the strongest wills.
This isn't a hard decision.
Not
Get
a hard
them out
decision.
safely.
I think it's quite simple. They are and I say we wipe the earth from their filth.
Captain Bennett demanded that both King and all of the Blue citizens be killed. However, Chancellor UC demanded that all the Blue citizens be spared. UC even wanted King to be captured and given a fair trial to explain himself. However, Captain Bennett respectfully disagreed.
Last I checked, us and Green were gonna go take over Blue.
That
so
is
who
true.
the f are you guys coming in here and telling us how we're gonna handle this? This is our f***ing problem. Get the f out of here with your high and mighty You're really starting to piss me off. This is our f***ing island. We're the ones deploying troops to take it over. Get the f*** out of here.
This is a diplomatic meeting.
I will kill you.
Diplomatic meeting.
I think this is why.
As the world leaders clashed about how to handle Blue Island, fighting nearly broke out at this peace meeting. It was decided that the Blue citizens were just innocent hostages of this dictator, and they would be spared. The Amethysteian military would invade the Blue Island. King would be taken, dead or alive. The invasion force was assembled and an attack plan was created. Amethysteia's General Velixity would lead the assault.
As general, I plan to make an assault on Blue Island.
It's going to be an extraction mission where we go in, kill King, recruit the rest of Blue, and then get out of there.
Those bloody dogs will die!
The pacifist Embergold Coalition would not participate in the violence. However, Chancellor UC himself would join the invasion force to collect the Blue refugees and make sure they were safely removed from the island. Elander's worst fears were realized as his people were already being drafted for military service. Elander decided it was only fair if he himself volunteered for this mission. He had signed the treaty with Purple thinking it would keep his people safe, and now he'd immediately put them in danger. His second-in-command, Rockethead, also volunteered to fight. It was unclear if Blue citizens would resist the invasion force or see them as liberators. Chancellor UC fully believed that the Blue citizens would turn on King. Meanwhile, King fully believed that his citizens would defend their island, and the Blue citizens themselves weren't really sure who to trust. Over on the Red Island, the hostile environment has continued to wear down the survivors. Queen Mallory hopes to eventually negotiate for the entire Red Island to relocate to the Embergold Coalition. It was better to keep the Red Nation alive on a different island than go extinct here. Red Island has already established good relations with the Embergold Coalition, so Queen Mallory began talks with Chancellor UC to discuss the complete immigration of the Red population. The future was uncertain for these people, but anything would be better than staying here. Still desperate to maintain peace and avoid bloodshed, Chancellor UC sent a warning to King to surrender himself. UC believed King could be reasoned with and would realize he's hopelessly outnumbered, but King had no intentions of going to prison.
I don't have any intentions of going to prison.
He was prepared to survive solo against the world if necessary. King immediately began booby-trapping his island before the invaders arrived. With the help of his citizens, he rigged the entire island to explode. He hid traps at choke points that would kill a soldier if stepped on. King also carefully positioned kegs in bushes so he could manually detonate them during a chase.
Look here. Oh, blunder bomb and they all go kaboom. We can do it behind this because there's a barrel here.
Do you think it would be a good idea to place a chest on a trap?
King's plan was to use the Home Alone strategy. He would bait the invaders into a chase, run a memorized route through his island, and kill them off one by one with traps.
It appears King does not want a trial.
Sure, the invasion force had strength in numbers, but King hoped they would underestimate him and would recklessly chase him straight into his explosive traps.
Wait, I have an idea.
King finished booby-trapping the Blue Island just in time to see ships approaching on the horizon.
Most of you may die, but that is a sacrifice that I am willing to make.
And so the invasion force arrived to arrest King. The biggest red flag should have been that King didn't even try to flee on his own ship, but General Velixity wasn't worried. His first battle was about to be an overwhelming victory for the Amethysteian Empire, and it would be a spectacle of their new military power. Little did General Velixity know that King wasn't trapped here with them, they were trapped here with King.
It is time for our assault on this tyrant king.
General Velixity made a declaration that King was under arrest for crimes against humanity. He could surrender and face a fair trial, or he would be executed on sight. Next, he told the 3 blue citizens to surrender or face the same fate as King.
I have people ready to escort you out of this island. If you want to leave this island alive, this is your only chance to.
With no hesitation, all 3 blue citizens chose to surrender.
Come with me. We'll get you on out of here.
They would keep their lives even if it meant losing ownership of their home island. Chancellor UC quickly took the 3 refugees back to his ship before any fighting could break out. King was all alone now. General Velixity charged forward, unafraid to lead his men into their first battle. A brave but foolish choice.
Everybody, it's time to make our assault. Let's move. He's here somewhere.
Hold on.
He's here. No.
Not even 10 seconds into the chase, General Velixity walked straight into a trap and died. There's nothing more demoralizing than seeing your general blow up right in front of you.
Vel is dead. We've lost him.
But the invaders continued their manhunt.
I saw him run up the rocks.
Where'd he go?
I am no man of strategic values, but a man who has been on this island for a good while has traps here.
Oh, down.
Another soldier died as King picked them off one by one.
He has traps everywhere.
King's strategy was actually working.
We're losing too many. Who did we just lose?
We've lost tax collector, Olander.
Olander, we've lost tax collector. Golly, it's like a minefield out here.
Another explosive trap was set off and another soldier died. It was now clear that they were walking into a trap. The remaining soldiers started to panic as the mission became hopeless.
He's trapped everywhere. We're losing too many people.
As explosions rattled the island, soldiers began calling for a retreat.
Get the men back to the ship.
They said to go back to the ship.
King believed he had won as the invaders all ran back to their ships, all except one man.
I will not retreat to have more green die.
Elander disobeyed the calls to retreat. A green citizen had been killed in this fight, and Elander wasn't going to let that loss be for nothing. He continued chasing King up the mountain, but King was baiting him into his final trap, a keg hidden in a bush near the mountain peak. But by pure luck, Elander threw a blunderbomb at King, accidentally setting off the hidden keg.
I got him!
Ironically, King's own trap had now been his downfall. Elander walked back to the ships where the rest of the army hid and announced that King was dead. The first battle was over, but this victory had not come without a great cost.
How many did we lose? We lost quite a few.
Both green and purple citizens had been lost today.
This was a victory, but it was also a very heavy loss.
They're the ones we lost.
The celebrations were cut short as everyone noticed that the Embergold Coalition was gone, along with the Blue Refugees. Chancellor UC had quietly offered the Blue Refugees citizenship on his island and sailed away with them before the Amethysthians could notice.
No, I think we should join Yellow. If we join up with Purple, we'll die.
If we're gonna leave, we have to leave now.
Let's go.
Chancellor UC did this to save the lives of the Blue Refugees. He believed that the Empire would have executed them, and that moving them to the Embergold Coalition was the safest move. Chancellor UC was only concerned with preserving peace, but the Amethysthians saw this as an act of betrayal. It appeared that UC had selfishly stolen these citizens for his own nation to have.
They kind of just took Blue Team and left, and that was not part of the deal. I specifically told him if he tries to recruit them, then that might just be an act of war.
The army returned home and reported everything to Emperor Flares.
Blue Team was supposed to join us.
This is unacceptable. Interesting.
This is an outrage! This makes me furious. This makes me livid.
The Empire was furious with Chancellor UC. They were worried that the Embergold Coalition was now building an army to rival their own.
They sailed away without helping and they just stole our citizens. Man, I'm going to have their heads.
UC didn't intend for his act of compassion to be seen as a power move, but it was too late. Tensions between the Amethysthian Empire and the Embergold Coalition had never been higher. A celebration was held for the Empire's first victory, and a funeral was held for the fallen General Velixity.
Thank you, Vel, for your sacrifice.
It's what he deserves. He gave his life for this damnation.
Peace is something that must be fought for and paid for in blood.
But who would lead the Amethystian army now? The answer seemed obvious.
I think we should make Elander the general. Glory to Amethysia.
Glory to Amethysia.
Despite being a green citizen, the Emperor trusted Elander enough to give him this power. Elander accepted the promotion. Leading the army was the best way to ensure the protection of his people. A player named Infinity was also promoted to general. He was tasked with the defense of the capital city. General Elander would attack foreign threats, while General Infinity would defend the homeland. The Empire was preparing for world domination, but the Emperor's worst fears were realized as the Embergold coalition suddenly doubled in size. A new treaty was just signed between Chancellor UC and Queen Mallory of the Red Island. The entire population of the Red Island would now immigrate to the Embergold Coalition and join them as citizens. This was more than an alliance. This was the complete merging of nations. The yellow, red, and blue citizens would all be equals in the Embergold Coalition. This nation was now a melting pot of refugees. The red immigrants were thrilled to be leaving their volcanic wasteland behind and move to the Embergold Coalition. UC welcomed them onto his rock. Counting the 3 blue refugees, there were now 20 players here. It would be crowded now on this rock, but Chancellor UC believed it was the right thing to do.
I, Chancellor of the Embergold Coalition, welcome the Red Tide Tridents. We have all been brought to harsh islands and have been forced a difficult hand, but today we merge our hands together to create a powerful one. Today we have the ability to merge our groups to create a fighting chance in protecting not only ourselves, but our ideologies and ideas. This team will allow us to go toe-to-toe with Purple if that needs to come.
As you can see, we are welcomed by both the yellow team and the local natives, which seem to be aiming their guns at us.
An island meeting was held to plan the survival of this new nation. Some players were assigned as fishermen, others were assigned as cooks, others as lookouts. Everyone would contribute to the survival of the Embergold Coalition.
We'll show you the ways of our people.
Chancellor UC still felt strongly that the rock was the safest place for them to live. Even if it's inconvenient, why risk dying to mobs on the main island? UC also assigned players to be in charge of trade and diplomacy with the other islands. And finally, Chancellor UC decided that they should vote for his successor. UC would still finish his term, but an early election was held to find the new Chancellor in advance. World tensions were high, and UC wanted to ensure a peaceful transfer of power in the event that he was assassinated. UC couldn't risk his new nation falling into anarchy or civil war. UC forbid everyone from discriminating against one another for their island color. They were no longer yellows, reds, or blues. There was only the Embergold Coalition, and all were welcome to run for Chancellor. UC gathered everyone together and held the election.
Our first big vote is who's going to be our Chancellor.
I believe you should vote for me.
We shall all be able to unify together against the greatest threat.
I would be a great Vice Chancellor.
A player named Spy was elected to be the next Chancellor, and a player named Mr. Jack was elected to be the Vice Chancellor. Unfortunately, it turns out that the citizens did not share UC's enthusiasm for democracy. Some people here wanted power by any means necessary. A red player named Threnos went for the boldest assassination, just stabbing the Vice Chancellor in front of the whole crowd.
Congratulations, Jack,
Vice Chancellor.
Ow! Whoa!
Mr. Jack tried to escape into the water. But Threnos murdered him. The funniest part is that Threnos got away with it somehow. 2 other citizens were wrongly blamed for the assassination instead. This peaceful election suddenly broke down as different colors began blaming each other for the violence. First, Crazy Gamer was wrongly accused and executed. And then Queen Mallory blamed Wow Wow and stabbed him to death on the spot.
I thought he was going to We had to. I'll be real, he's been power hungry since the beginning.
2 innocent men were murdered while the real killer, Threnos, just sat back and watched in delight. The Embergold Coalition was already at its breaking point.
He's gonna make
But Chancellor UC got everyone to stop fighting and prevented a civil war from breaking out.
A moment of silence for our old Vice and the 2 others that died.
3 people had died in this election that was ironically meant to prevent bloodshed. The election continued, and Spy would be the next Chancellor, and Queen Mallory was elected to be the next Vice Chancellor. But in the meantime, UC would stay in power to finish his term and keep the peace. Fortunately, the people all loved and respected Chancellor UC, but that's where their unity ended. The Embergold Coalition had to put their differences aside and work together, or they would never survive. Meanwhile, on the Blue Island, the wild chickens are the largest population here now. After the murder of King and the escape of the Blue refugees, the Blue Island was left abandoned. The Amethystian Empire sent guards to defend the island and make sure no squatters moved in, but no one lived here anymore. Which is interesting because there's a bit of a housing crisis on the other islands right now. To the Empire, the true value of owning Blue Island was in keeping it from the other nations that were desperate for it. Over on the Green Island, the citizens got used to life under the Amethystian Empire. They were all allowed to continue worshipping their stool, and the citizens felt safer knowing the island would be protected from any hostile nations. So they continued fishing, digging worms, and fighting off the constant mob spawns. General Elander felt homesick as the only time he saw his citizens anymore was when they were drafted for war. And war was on the horizon as the Emperor just placed the army on high alert. Captain Bennett has convinced the Emperor and the generals that the Embergold Coalition is building an army. First, UC had betrayed their agreement and kidnapped the blue people for his own empire, and now rumors had got out that UC had gained control of the entire red population. Emperor Flares was convinced that this sudden expansion of the Embergold Coalition was a threat. He sent a scouting party to the Red Island to investigate, and his worst fears were realized. Sure enough, the entire island was abandoned, and their ship was long gone. Captain Bennett believed he now had proof that UC had been plotting to grow his army this whole time, and this act of aggression could not be ignored. The abandoned Red Island was quietly claimed for the Amethystian Empire, and a single soldier was stationed there to guard it. Emperor Flares had expanded his empire to 4 of the 5 islands, although his forces were stretched too thin to possibly defend all of them. But Emperor Flares' biggest concern was Chancellor UC. UC's betrayal on the Blue Island could not go unpunished. It would make the Empire look weak. Flares reluctantly agreed that assassinating UC was their best choice. Assassinating Chancellor UC would destabilize the Embergold Coalition and undo the threat that UC had posed to them. And so the Amethystians hatched a plot. They invited Chancellor UC to their island for a peace meeting, and then they would lure him into the sewer and stab him to death. This was more than an assassination plot. It was a preemptive strike on the Embergold Coalition. Emperor Flares hoped that killing UC would prevent a world war, but Captain Bennett truthfully just wanted revenge on UC. And so a message was delivered to Chancellor UC inviting him for a peace meeting with the Emperor. UC was obviously a little nervous, as the Empire had always been quite hostile towards him, but he knew he had to take the risk. This was his only chance at achieving peace before a world war could break out. UC made the bold choice to travel to Amethysia alone. This was the most powerful way he could prove that he posed no threat to the Emperor and trusted that peace could be achieved.
Now, I know there may be tensions between the two of us, but I humbly welcome you to my island.
But the Emperor was doubtful that UC had really come alone, and was concerned about spies. It was decided to postpone the peace talks until that night, so the ship and island could be secretly searched. Everyone was very friendly to Chancellor UC as they gave him a tour of the island. They were careful to make sure he suspected nothing. But as the sun set and the hour of his murder approached, one Amethystian citizen pulled UC aside and warned him of the plot. This Amethystian was named Thisboy38, and he strongly disagreed with the Emperor.
You are a person who is fair and you see neutrality in a lot of things, and I respect that. That is why I'm here to tell you that there is a plot to assassinate you underneath the tavern. There will be a party, you're going to be escorted downstairs, and there's going to be men blocking the exits. A total of 4 guards if I'm correct. The execution word will be from Emperor Flares himself. Glorious. You can escape right now on your ship, or you can go in there and see what happens. I only ask that I am treated just as fairly.
Thisboy was worried that this assassination would ignite a world war and destroy everyone. He was willing to commit treason by warning UC of this plot if it meant saving the lives of everyone. But Thisboy should have known that UC would be under constant surveillance here. An Amethystian soldier overheard their discussion and ran to report it straight to the Emperor. And within a minute, the entire Amethystian army came and surrounded them.
Where is he? At his heels.
Hey guys!
Die!
Oh!
Captain Bennett himself got the satisfaction of the kill.
I will have vengeance for Vale. I will bring war upon these seas. I'm officially announcing war.
But in the darkness and chaos, Disboy had actually managed to escape. An island-wide manhunt started to capture this traitor.
Where's Disboy?
Everyone look for Disboy.
We're having a public execution. Everyone, find him!
Sabotaging the Emperor's plan was treason, and the punishment for treason was death. Disboy knew that reasoning with the Emperor was hopeless, so he snuck over to a ship and set sail.
I will return. This is not the end of me.
Come you to hell! Take the ships, everyone to the boats! Send that ship to the depths!
His plan was to flee to the Embergold Coalition.
At his heels!
Disboy wasn't only being hunted for treason, he was also the only enemy of the Empire that knew how UC had really died. If Disboy escaped to the Embergold Coalition, he could leak everything. It was crucial for the Emperor to tie up this loose end.
Raise that damn anchor, you pathetic dog!
We're catching up!
The Amethystian Navy caught up to him. Disboy was captured and had to answer for his treason.
Start talking, you dog!
You think you could just kill someone who is completely neutral?
He is not neutral, Disboy. He went against his word.
I want a public execution of this line!
Disboy was locked in the brig of UC's ship and sentenced to die. And his death would be especially brutal. Treason could not be tolerated, and an example had to be made.
Disboy, we trusted you. You know the price that has to be paid for that.
Do what you must.
Disgust me. Glory to Amethysia!
The ship was set on fire with him locked inside. As the ship began to sink, Disboy drowned in his cell. It was the death of a traitor, but Disboy's conscience was clear. He had died trying to stop a war and an unjust murder, but Disboy had failed. And now it was the living who had the privilege of deciding what was true and false. Emperor Flares sent a messenger to the Embergold Coalition to inform them that Chancellor UC was dead, and blamed Disboy 38 for the murder. Flares claimed that Disboy had gone rogue and stabbed UC, and that Disboy had been executed for treason. Of course, the fact that Disboy had really been executed made this story more believable, but the Embergold Coalition was obviously still skeptical. They were furious about UC's death, but they couldn't do anything about it until they got their own nation under control first. UC's planning paid off and a peaceful transfer of power happened. Spy assumed his role as the new chancellor, and Queen Mallory became vice chancellor. But how would the Embergold Coalition function now without UC holding them together? Chancellor Spy hoped that they could find unity against their common enemy, the growing aggression of the Amethystian Empire. Spy was able to easily rally the coalition together by blaming the Empire for UC's death. Chancellor Spy saved his nation from falling apart, but UC's legacy of peace and neutrality would be impossible to continue. The world was heading for war. Amethysia was shocked by Disboy's betrayal, as no one had committed treason since the Empire had formed. But Captain Bennett was secretly having some treasonous thoughts of his own. You see, Emperor Flares was growing more difficult to control. Although installed as a puppet leader, Emperor Flares was now more powerful than Captain Bennett had ever predicted. Flares had become a very popular leader, and many of the Amethystians were now fully loyal to him, and not Captain Bennett.
I am a servant of the people, and vow to lead us into a bright new age.
Flares now promised his people peace and dismissed talks of drafting soldiers.
The peaceful purple banners of Amethysia will shine across the seas. Glory to Amethysia!
However, Captain Bennett believed war was imminent, and believed Flares was risking the protection of Amethysia just to score some popularity points. Without the Emperor's knowledge, Captain Bennett quietly sent a spy to the Embergold Coalition.
This would be a dangerous mission, but if ye accept, we promise you a hero's death if you die, and a warm welcome if you make it back. What say ye?
I'll go.
Favorable winds to ye, lad. Best of luck.
His orders were to swim to shore undetected and assess the military capabilities of the Embergold Coalition. A formal declaration of war had not been declared yet, so this operation would be denied and the soldier would be named a traitor if caught. He hid in a treasure chest overlooking the home rock of the Embergold Coalition. The newly appointed Chancellor spy held an island meeting. All the citizens were in panic about recent events. Chancellor Yusi had been murdered in Amethysia, and the citizens were furious. The Empire still officially blamed Disboy 38 for the murder, but the Embergold Coalition wasn't buying it. They held a vote and agreed that Chancellor Yusi had most likely been assassinated by the Emperor.
This is a direct violation of the accords that were signed with Purple and Green Team. This is not only a violation, but a disrespect towards our people, our values, and everything we stand for. Yusi was our founding father. He's the one who made Yellow Team be organized. He kept everyone alive, and I say we avenge him.
But now the question was, what can be done about it? The Embergold Coalition would not be bullied by the Amethysian Empire, but they would not fight a world war either. Chancellor Yusi's dream had been for a peaceful Embergold Coalition, so they chose a non-violent act of revenge. They would take over Blue Island from the Empire. It was currently undefended, and they desperately needed a better place to live, as immigration had greatly grown the population of this rock. But most importantly, they would be showing the Empire that there's consequences for killing Chancellor Yusi.
We are a democracy here. Can we get this down to a vote for the conquest of Blue Island? Alright, seems like a majority vote.
Hearing this plan, the spy realized he needed to urgently report back to Amethysia. To cover his escape, he lit the Embergold ships on fire. This distraction would let him slip away in the chaos. Except he got a little cocky and stayed for a minute to admire his work. And of course, an Embergold citizen saw him. He immediately started trying to murder the witness. Using blunderbombs, he scared off his enemy. Now he made a sneaky run to the ocean before anyone else could spot him. After swimming to the designated spot, he was picked up by the Amethysian Navy and brought home. The spy reported everything he heard. The Empire immediately declared a state of emergency and drafted all citizens into military service. This included every citizen from the Green Island. General Elander feared for his people's future, as all of them were forced to leave their home island and report to the Emperor in person. Captain Bennett met with Emperor Flares in a meeting to discuss the looming world war. Emperor Flares still wanted to avoid war at any cost. He didn't want to risk losing his empire. Even with the spy's intel, he was prepared to just give Blue Island over to the Embergold Coalition to defuse the tensions. But Captain Bennett believed that war with the Embergold Coalition was already inevitable, and the worst thing Amethysia could do is give their enemies the neighboring island. He believed Flares was blind to the threat that the Embergold Coalition posed, and he thought Flares was risking Amethysia's existence.
You failed this nation, Flares.
Amethysia is already a great nation. It doesn't need war, it doesn't need chaos. We don't need to make enemies, we need to make friends, we need to have peace. This is my nation, my people, my Amethysia. Captain Bennett, you will lead this nation to ruin.
My dear old friend, I'm going to lead it to glory. And I do wish you could be there to see it.
Flares gave his life for Amethysia, but not in the way he'd hoped. Captain Bennett believed he was killing the Emperor to save the Empire, but the citizens wouldn't see it the same way. So he lied, and told everyone that an assassin from the Embergold Coalition had murdered Flares. And Amethysia believed the lie. Captain Bennett had not only gotten away with murder, but he had united the island against their enemy. Now Captain Bennett would have his war. Now he would have the loyalty of the people. And now he believed he could secure the survival of the Amethysian Empire. The people wanted to fight to avenge Flares, and the Embergold Coalition would not have a peaceful outcome now, nor would they catch the Empire off guard. Captain Bennett also used this fake attack to seize power. He was next in line for the throne, and no one questioned his ascension to emperor. A war was imminent, but in the final moments of peace, there was a royal wedding in Amethysia. Emperor Bennett married Eliza. She was now Empress of the Amethysian Empire.
We've come here on this beautiful day to bound these two together for all eternity. The pirate's life is a harsh one, but with love you can conquer even the Sea of the Damned.
Wait, I got one emote.
After the ceremony, Emperor Bennett held a war council meeting. Thanks to the spies' intel, Amethysia knew an invasion force was headed to the Blue Island. But booby-trapping the island would be too obvious now. There's no way the invaders would fall for the same trick that King had pulled. In sending too much of the army to defend Blue Island would leave the city of Amethysia exposed to an ambush. Emperor Bennett decided to just send all of the conscripted green citizens to defend the Blue Island. And General Elander would be sent with his green people to keep them in line. The Embergold Coalition was expecting Blue Island to be undefended. Upon seeing an army there, there's surely no way they would fight a battle they weren't prepared for. Emperor Bennett assumed they'd just return home. And then, with the risk of an attack on Amethysia gone, Emperor Bennett could go on offense and send his entire military force to the Yellow Island, wiping out the Embergold Coalition entirely in one night. At least that was the Emperor's plan. And so Emperor Bennett sent all the green citizens to the Blue Island, and he assured them that there would be no battle. There was no danger. But the green citizens were angry and scared. They had all been sent to a foreign island to risk their lives for land that wasn't even theirs. They felt like they were being used as soldiers for an empire that had done nothing for them. But General Elander assured his people that there wouldn't be a battle, and if there was, the empire would send troops to help them. Elander trusted Emperor Bennett and believed the empire would protect them. But there was no time for debate. The Embergold Coalition's fleet was already closing in on the Blue Island.
These guys have taken advantage of all respect, of our diplomacy, and we haven't been able to make a dime, which is the entire meaning of the Embergold Coalition. It's despicable. Captain Bennett, he was Flares' little puppy. Well, now he's unleashed, and he's a rabid dog, and he's taking it out on everyone. Whatever happened to Flares, I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
Meanwhile in Amethysia, General Infinity created a defense plan for the city. If General Elander failed to defend the Blue Island, then the homeland was at risk of getting invaded next. Every citizen was assigned a role. Upon seeing an enemy ship, the bell would be rung, and everyone would go to their battle stations. Each man was assigned a cannon and given various ammo types. Cannons on the shoreline would repel a ground invasion, while cannons on the central tavern could strike ships far out at sea. If the enemy made it on land, all citizens were to fall back to the tavern roof, and the stairs could be defended as a choke point. Traps would be quickly installed on the stairs as well. All citizens were given high-tier food and throwables for their inventories, as Amethysia was now officially in a state of war.
Everybody, stay in a pair of two. Find a buddy. Talk to an Infinity, he'll give you a buddy. Everybody make sure you're stocked up on fish.
As for the new Empress Eliza, she would be hidden in the top of the Purple Tower with traps installed on the staircase. A permanent guard would be stationed with her as well. It was Davy Jones, the soldier who had pulled off the reconnaissance mission in the Embergold Coalition. Everyone had their orders, and the citizens were now all soldiers. They were to practice drills of this defense plan non-stop until the threat was gone. But the threat was very much not gone, as the Embergold Coalition had just arrived at the Blue Island. Chancellor Spy was startled to see troops stationed there, but they noticed it was only 7 green citizens defending. These pacifists had no combat experience, but this was a fight they surely couldn't lose. Chancellor Spy believed that Elander would retreat, while Elander believed that Chancellor Spy would retreat. What followed was a tense standoff. General Elander warned them to all sail home or die. But then, to everyone's surprise, Chancellor Spy commanded the Embergold Coalition to attack in their first battle. General Elander had one of his men use the island cannon to launch up a flare, signaling the Emperor to send help, but no help would come. The green soldiers panicked as combat began. Greatly outnumbered, all they could do was scatter in different directions.
Oh, great heavens! Oh, great heavens! Sweet firing. Let him run, let him run.
Upon seeing the flare, Blue Island was declared a loss. General Elander was declared dead, and Emperor Bennett only sent his troops to their battle stations to defend the city.
They can't take all of us.
Meanwhile, the green team was getting massacred.
No.
Elander watched all of them fall one by one.
Kill him.
It hurt to see Rocket Head, his second in command, die. But the death of Ice Staff Levi is what hurt him the most.
How many are we? How many are we?
Like 4.
Yep.
Noob was the only Ember Gold citizen to die in this battle, but at least he died on his home island.
Got him.
He's still be over there. Attack Shanti, kill him. Yeah.
I got the fool.
Watch yourself for traps.
And no Amethystine ships approached on the horizon. No backup was coming. It was clear now that Emperor Bennett had sent them here to die. By joining the Amethystine Empire, Elander had not protected his people. He had offered them up for slaughter. All his friends lost in an instant. Running for his life, General Elander was now the last green citizen alive. But he wasn't going to offer even one more life for the Emperor, so he surrendered. The Ember Gold Coalition took him to their ship and debated whether or not to execute him. Chancellor Spy held a vote, and the people voted to kill him. Elander did not beg for mercy. Instead, he begged for a chance to get revenge on the Emperor.
I want revenge for my team, for the lives that I lost. I need Emperor Bennett dead. Death to the Emperor. You may think I am of no use to you and worth killing. I may be part of Amethysia, but I'm not part of Purple. Death to Emperor Bennett. Let me join you, and we can take him down together.
Elander was a general and could leak all of the Emperor's military plans. He revealed everything he knew. Elander warned them that if they returned home, they would be surprise attacked, and he told them exactly how the Emperor's city would be defended, and in exchange, the Ember Gold Coalition spared his life. But Elander wasn't interested in living. He didn't care about the Ember Gold Coalition or the Empire. His only purpose now was to get revenge on Emperor Bennett. It would be impossible to kill the Emperor while the city was on high alert. But there was one person he could kill, the Emperor's wife, Eliza. Chancellor Spy held a vote for what the Ember Gold Coalition should do now. They had conquered the Blue Island, and now they had the perfect home. It seemed like they had won, but they knew they could not survive as long as the Emperor sat alive on the island right next to them. This war wasn't over, it was only beginning. There would certainly be surprise attacks and assassins if not a full invasion of their island. The only path to peace now was war. But they had a good shot at victory. Their army was 18 strong now, including former yellow, red, blue, and one green player. They started as neutral pacifists, not soldiers. But things were different now. They would fight for their existence, and they would get proper revenge for UC's death. This isn't the Ember Gold Coalition that UC died for, but this is the Ember Gold Coalition that would die for UC. Finally united in purpose, they prepared for battle. It was time to avenge UC and put an end to the Amethystine tyranny. They now had a fleet of 3 galleons. Their plan of attack was to lay siege to Amethysia. Their galleons will circle the city, blasting cannonballs at the defenders. Next, they will ram the island and fight a coordinated push to the tavern. And finally, they'll kill Emperor Bennett.
That island over there, we're about to siege, it's full of cowards. People who have taken power and only used it for abuse. I say we fight, we take down the Emperor once and for all.
We have literally every other faction together just against Purple Team. That should tell you how he is as a leader. We mustn't forget what we are fighting for today. It is not only to bring democracy and fair voting rights to the members of the Empire Amethysia. It is not only to avenge all of those that we've lost to the Empire. It is not only to avenge my friend, you see. We are one today, tomorrow, and always. Glory to Ember Gold Coalition.
Glory to Ember Gold Coalition!
I will not have some pompous, melancholy, yellow monarch invade our homeland.
Secretly, Elander believed they stood no chance, but it made no difference to him as he had no intentions of surviving this battle. Emperor Bennett rang the alarm bell and the citizens all went to their battle stations.
Stations, boys, to station!
Do not let our queen die, okay?
The siege of Amethysia began. For the next 10 minutes there was nothing but the constant bang of cannon fire as both sides exhausted their arsenals on one another.
Give 'em hell!
Several players were killed on the ships, while the Embergold Coalition struggled to directly hit the city's fortified cannons.
Death to the Embergold!
Firebombs proved to be more effective for damaging the Amethysians and wasting their food supply.
To stations, boys!
Go!
But Amethysia had stocked up on fish preparing for a day such as this.
For flares!
For flares! For Amethysia! Kill them, you dogs! I want their heads, boys!
Get the super K. Defend Amethysia!
I want their heads, boys!
I need food right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I got you. Come here.
I'll send you all to hell!
The lander's here.
Hey, good.
Dying is the day worth living for.
Let's get anchor up quick.
One of the Embergold ships got anchored in a terrible position.
Oh, they anchored! Oh, what are they doing? They're doomed! Lay into them!
Yeah, my cannibals too.
Go look for barrels. Start sailing the ship. If anybody has cannonballs, start firing.
I'll kill you all!
I'm out of cannibals.
Two stations, you decated.
For you. Alright.
You'll die.
Nice. We got two on their ship already.
Yar!
We beat to the ship.
We're not getting that, someone needs to go over and stop them. No, we lost them. Yeah, this is not feasible.
They're boarded, Captain! That's what you get, a lander!
We need to go over. Abandoned ship, just go over. Go, go, go. That's it, I'm going over.
The land invasion of the city began. Many invaders snuck in through the sewer tunnels.
Down here, in the water.
Kill them all and send them to hell!
Defend Amethysia!
He's up, he's up.
Oh, there he's coming up!
He's up.
Get over here.
For flares!
For flares! For Amethysia! You think I'm dead? Kill them all! I'll send you to hell!
Get a water bucket.
Get your ass back here and fight me like a man! Hammer cow, you coward! Don't you dare run from me! You will die at the hand of my stupidity.
Get him. Get him.
One side fought to avenge Emperor Flares, while the other side fought to avenge Chancellor UC. The irony is that both men had been killed by Emperor Bennett's hand. What was planned as a coordinated assault on the tavern had now devolved into chaos.
Is he dead?
No.
Gentlemen, reload your harpoon guns.
Get back here, gamer cows!
I need help.
About to die.
Dirty coward! Don't you run from me! Get back here!
He's right here, he's right here. Get him.
Death to the Embergold!
For flares, defend our Amethysia!
Fighting broke out all over the city as the soldiers of both armies were split up.
You picked the wrong team!
You think you can kill me? Die. Good work.
The Emperor's Tavern remained an impenetrable fortress.
He's coming up!
Everybody, top of the tavern now.
Kill him!
Lander ran down from the tavern.
Alander's here, Alander's here. Get him. Alander, get back here.
Where? Where's the lander?
Get over here. Get over here, you dog.
Wait, what?
Kill the lander.
Dead.
Get over here, you dog.
Elander saw his chance and made a rush for the tower to kill Empress Eliza. He hoped to make the Emperor feel his pain of loss.
He's going up! Elander, no! Kill that man!
Elander died. He failed his mission.
I killed Elander!
Alander's dead.
Elander was no assassin. He was supposed to be a president, and he could still be alive with all the green citizens on an island far away from here, if only his choices had been different. And in his final moments, he realized that getting revenge won't change that. But the battle still raged on without him.
Take some food.
Emperor Bennett, start digging in your butt, Win.
You can't run from me.
Good work, gentlemen.
My voice is so gone. I can only talk clearly if I'm yelling now.
The Embergold Coalition started getting massacred. They were not trained to be soldiers. They had no generals. They didn't even have a chain of command, which led to them panicking as their plan of attack fell apart. Meanwhile, the Amethysian Empire had soldiers who had been training for this since day one. These people had been practicing knife fighting against each other in the pit. They had an actual defense plan and chain of command.
For flowers! I'll kill you. Anyone have food? I need food.
I got him. Damn it, he's gonna die. I'm about to die. I'm about to die.
I bet you dead. I got two of you.
Chancellor Spy died in battle with his men. So did Vice Chancellor Mallory.
Most of their forces are gone. Queen Mallory's down here. This might be the greatest landslide victory in history.
Soldiers of the Embergold Coalition fell one by one, until a player named Danny was the last surviving soldier. This fight was personal for him. Danny had been friends with Chancellor UC since their very first day on Yellow Island. Danny knew he couldn't solo the Empire, but he still had a chance to avenge his friend. Danny knew there was only one way to get a shot at the Emperor. He challenged him to a one-on-one duel, and of course Emperor Bennett could not resist.
Flares this rabid dog out of its cage.
There was no cage. I am a puppeteer, pulling the strings from a mile away. Let me tell you a little secret, Daniel. Boy, I killed you, see? It was my blade that plunged into his heart. His friend, this boy, tried to save him, and he met the same fate that you'll meet, boy.
My Embergold Coalition may be no more, but our spirit and our power remains. In me. My name is Danny Boy 55445. You killed my friend, UC. Prepare to die.
I would sooner rot in hell than let you lay a finger on the empire I've built. I'll send you to hell.
Danny suffered a fate no different than his friends, by the Emperor's blade.
UC, this is for you. UC.
The Embergold Coalition was now wiped out completely. The yellows, blues, and reds were all extinct now. Even the greens were extinct now, as Emperor Bennett had sent them to die in battle. And Elander, the last green citizen, had fallen in his rebellion. The only survivors left in the map were purple now. The old world is gone. The Amethysian Empire is what remains. After the battle ended, Emperor Bennett celebrated with his soldiers, and he ran to the tower to check on the Empress, but the tower was empty.
They killed our queen!
Emperor Bennett had defended his city, but he had failed to protect the person that mattered most. This was the Embergold Coalition's final parting gift to the Emperor. Acting on Elander's intel, they were sure to kill the Emperor's wife before they were wiped out. And what pained Emperor Bennett the most is that there was no one left to even get revenge on. Every other island was extinct. The Emperor had conquered the world, but now he had to live with the consequences of his choices, both the good and the bad. After the war, life just continued on as normal in Amethysia. The citizens continued fishing and drinking. The Emperor remained in power, and no one even tried to oppose him. The 9 remaining Amethysians lived in peace. Bennett's methods may have been violent, deceptive, and dangerous. Sure, he acted like a villain. He had forced his people to train and prepare for combat. He forced them to live as soldiers in a constant state of war. But in the end, his island was the only one to survive this experiment. Bennett started off ruling by fear, but in the end, his people loved him. The losses had been great, but the victory was greater. You'd think Emperor Bennett had made enough enemies at this point that someone would rebel against him. Surely someone would assassinate him and take the throne, but no. The Amethysians were truly happy. It's hard to complain about leadership when you're the only nation left. His methods had been harsh, but the people truly loved Emperor Bennett, and Amethysia had truly become a utopia now. Despite conquering the map, the Amethysians never left their home island again. There was no more land to conquer. There were no more wars to fight. There was no need to risk dying to mobs, or lava, or old landmines. The citizens were all perfectly happy to stay at home where the tavern is. The ships were burned. And the rest of the map was abandoned. Now the other islands were no more than graveyards, where dictators and presidents, killers and peacemakers, rich and poor, enemies and friends, were all left behind together, forgotten in the sand.